Hello and welcome to the Other 14 FC podcast. I'm Alex, Crystal Palace fan.
And I'm Tom, a West Ham fan.
This is your pod for everything not top six. Tired of team being last on match of the day, not getting the flowers they deserve. That's about change. Tom, what do we have for listeners this week?
Stack's sensational free kick. Milner makes history. Krejci's silly sending off. It was a somewhat low-key weekend of Premier League football, but for the first time this season, Alex gets to banish West Ham to sad 0-0 corner.
Low-key was a fucking shit weekend. These weekends, yeah, where I sit there and just like, if we pack it in and do a fucking Palace West Ham podcast, because what are we going to pick the bones out of this week? Like, I think you've got
you'll
Palace
be excited
third
who
on
I've
running
got first.
order for this week, and that game was terrible.
It was. There was a lot of bad football this weekend.
It really, really was. But yeah, if that's enticed the listeners to stay along to give it a listen, I guess good on you, I guess. But yeah, let's take a break and get into it. Okay, and we're back. So, Tom, where do you want to start? I think it's going to be the dreaded B word, isn't it, for me?
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't be happy with who I put first, but I think the most surprising result out of the weekend.
Yeah,
would you say?
The most surprising result? Maybe even the game with the most action as well, I guess, because Brighton gave it a good go as well, and Brentford had a lot of half chances in the game. But yeah, I guess yeah, we've got to start with Brentford's unexpected. I'm going to do this throughout this game as well. Brentford, Brighton get mixed up. But yeah. I guess Brighton's a bit of a shock result away at Brentford.
Yeah, I don't think anyone had this down as a 2-0 Brighton win, and they completely flipped the script on everyone. How long have we been saying about Brentford's unbelievable home record, Brighton pretty patchy away record, and this recent spell of results that they've been going through? I don't think anyone predicted Brentford losing 2-0 in this one. But Brighton with a better team?
I predicted Brighton to win, mainly because the day or the Friday before, me and my mate decided to put a bet on Brighton to go down because we were getting a bit overzealous after looking at their upcoming fixtures and thinking, yeah, this is nailed on to be a loss for them. But yeah, as soon as I put the bet on, it was like, yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to win every game to the end of the season now.
Yeah. I think the sort of the standout moment of this, whilst I think for the most Brighton fans it's getting back on track and getting a win after a pretty poor spell, I think for all of football we're mostly going to spend the time talking about James Milner. And I know we discussed it last week a bit, but like this was the one that he gets the all-time appearance record on by his own, as last week he equalled Gareth Barry.
I knew you wouldn't be able to hold your tongue on this. Go on and have your mini rant.
No, I said what I said. I said what I needed to say last time, that his minutes are much less. It is still an unbelievable feat, and it felt very nostalgic seeing all of the pictures of Milner coming through as a teenager in a baggy Leeds Strongbow shirt, and that like it's just like it is testament to what he's done in the game, and he gets the start in this one as well. So like, props to Milner for being able to start an important match for Brighton. Like they desperately needed to win this game. It wasn't like you could argue if this was end of the season and Brighton were safe and it was the last game of the season, they just were like, oh yeah, we'll just throw Milner out there, like he can start the game as like almost like a testimonial. But this was an important match for Brighton to win. Like they were in a really bad spot before it, getting closer, feeling that relegation places getting closer and closer. Yeah, they had a few points bump, but like the way that they were going, they desperately needed this win, and Milner played his part as well, like in a sort of bit of a changed midfield for Brighton, with Hinshelwood coming in there as well and Pascal Gross complementing as a three in midfield. I think Brighton were the better team for 60 minutes, got the 2-0 lead, and then Brentford kind of came into it after that.
Yeah, I'd agree with you completely with all of that, really. It seemed like Brighton had all the early chances. You're thinking when Matoma basically squanders two pretty good openings, it seemed like he wasted the same opportunity twice. It was like, I wasn't sure if the replay just skipped itself when I was watching it or something. You're thinking, this is even more than this is better from Brighton. Like against us, they weren't even really creating those chances. So you're thinking they've done something to improve it a bit. And yeah, I think probably are worth the victory in it. I think all of Brentford's chances were half chances. And yeah, I mean, it's the opening goal, isn't it? Where it's I can't pronounce his name,
Kadioglu.
Kadioglu, yeah. And whacks it against the bar, which would have been an absolute screamer, then put back in by Gomez. And the away end, I described it as mildly clapped.
You bitter boy. Yeah, and then the second goal, bit of a slice of fortune, really. Nathan Collins has to come on for Aaron Hickey, and 45 seconds, I believe it was, after he came on, he kind of scuffs his clearance. He kind of almost just tees it up for Welbeck, and Welbeck 6 yards out with no one challenging him just absolutely smashes it way harder than he needs to, but just makes sure it's going in.
He's scoring that all day long, isn't he? That's like his bread and butter right there. And yeah, it
100%.
was a bit much, but it felt like to me the game was over at that point. Do you agree? For some reason, it just seemed like one of those off days that Brentford had against us, like, it must have been back in November or something, where they just did not look like they were going to get a goal, no matter how long they played for. Like, even though they have a damn scared opportunity, Thiago skies one over before the 1-0, and they kind of keep coming, but nothing actually ever looked like it was going to go in the back of the net, apart from Brighton nearly scoring an own goal from, who was it that nearly put in? Was it Kaiver?
Oh, De Kuyper. I can't remember the slightly own goal one, but from a Brentford perspective, there's a couple of players. I think Thiago's in a bit of a bad spell. In his last 5 games, he's only scored 1, and it was a penalty. Like, yeah, I know he set the height so high throughout this season, but the miss at 0-0 in this, he was scoring that earlier in the season, and he had that game a few weeks like the Arsenal game where he missed like a hat trick of chances. I know, maybe I'm putting too much on him.
No, I was thinking it, but I was like, is it a bit harsh to be like criticising him for not putting him in, or saying like what happened before was a purple patch? I don't know if that's really just a bit too harsh at the moment or not.
I don't know if it was a purple patch, but quite a lot of them are goals, are penalties as well. So like, you could if you're cynical, I think you could pull holes in his 17 goal season, but I think it's harsh. I think he's still a really good player, and I think this is just a bad run of form. I expect I've been impressed with him enough this season that I expect him to come out of this. I just do think it is worth noting that earlier in the season, where Brentford had every week a different man was turning up and being like, I'm the star man. Maybe that's not happened as much in the last few weeks. And if Thiago was doing it more often than most, and if he's not hitting the back of the net, it's a bit more of a struggle. But
yeah, I guess
I am nitpicking, and I'm maybe getting ahead of myself, but.
Well, no, that's what I was thinking as well, but I thought you'd call me out on being really negative about it, if I'm being honest, so it felt nice to try and be the bigger man.
Maybe this is just me hanging out with you too much that I've got ahead of it. I've got ahead of you. The other player I wanted to pinpoint, I feel like Mikkel Damsgaard's had a bit of a step back this season.
Yeah, he's dropped off, hasn't he, compared to how much we were sucking him off last season.
You fought for him to be in our team of the season last year, and he's gone. Oh well, I don't want that praise. Let me regress back.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? Like the chance towards the end of the game, you're thinking he's taken that all day, like last season.
Yeah, he bangs that in last season, and it's just like how many. We've talked about how good Brentford have been for the last few months, and at no point did we really talk about Mikkel Damsgaard.
No, we didn't.
Really putting in a form, maybe a game or two here or there where he's like stringing some passes. But I feel like we've talked about Dango Utara, Keane Lewis Potter, Thiago, even Jordan Henderson at times.
Yeah.
And Kevin Schade, and that, like, we've talked almost about everyone who has put in an element of attack. but we haven't talked about Damsgaard in this spell, and maybe that's us missing it. But I do think he has taken a step back this season.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. It does feel harsh to be shitting on Brentford a bit when they're currently like 40 points, still in with a shout of Europe. But then there's
That's all right. They're going to batter us in the FA Cup on a Monday night.
But the mad thing is, like, they're in that position, but then you look down the table to Brighton themselves. They're only 6 points off Brentford at this point. So it's like, how good a form have Brentford actually been in? Like, it's. I
mean, I think they were in insane form, but they were also like they started from the bottom of that pile of the other team, like the mid-table teams, and they went on an insane run to get to the top of it. It's still not a bad run of like their last 5. They won 2, lost 2, drawn 1. Like that's a good run of. That's a still decent run of form. I still expect them to see out the season in the top half. This one, I just think they maybe were just a bit unprepared, a bit slow to get started, and Brighton, maybe with a bit of desperation behind them, Brighton needed this win more than Brentford needed it, and I think that showed in the game.
Yeah, I think the desperation is a good shout there, really, with it. Maybe Brentford just taking off the ball a bit. I just think it's one of those games Brentford can have at the moment with their team. Maybe a bit.
I mean, I know you think that Brentford don't turn up at what was this, a Saturday 3:00?
Yeah, and they only do it at
it's
8
not
PM
under the lights.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, it's an annoying one that Brighton are pretty much going to be safe now as well. I was really looking forward to my payout on that bet. But
well,
yeah,
you're both safe. They'll be El Gatwico next season.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else you want to touch on the game, or should we move on to Sunderland Fulham?
Let's move on. I think we can go pretty speedy this week. We won't have to hold listeners for an hour.
Even we don't want to talk about our listeners, so have fun listening. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunderland 1, Fulham 3. This also probably unexpected, but
very unexpected. I think Sunderland losing that Fortress Stadium of Light tag might affect them more than we probably thought to begin with. And yeah, what was this, the game straight after losing it to Liverpool, or were they way last week?
Yeah. Nah, straight after losing it last midweek to Liverpool, probably did take the sort of the air of invincibility that it felt like Sunderland had at home this season. That probably losing that game to Liverpool kind of, again, this one didn't feel like Sunderland were really up for it as much as they had been, and the atmosphere didn't really seem as like, what's the word, like cauldron-like.
Yeah, they didn't see. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't want to use the word fortress again, but it didn't really feel like them against Fulham in a way. It didn't feel like everyone was behind it and everything, and the same way it has like, this is our place. You're going to have to like play well to get anything from here. But I just felt like both teams kind of cancelled each other out with it. I don't want to say both teams had nothing to play for, but that's kind of what this felt like. And then there was just lots of half chances or long shots in the first half. I think Muddle has the first one proper chance where he puts it wide.
Mundell's miss. It's a bad miss. It's a great, excellent move from Sunderland, and do just have to say that the online racial abuse that Romain Mundell has received is absolutely appalling, and there's just no place for that in society or football. Like, misses happen. We all mess up in our lives.
Yeah, like, I mean, we need to touch on that.
Be a grown up.
It's a bit shameful that we need to touch on that in the Palace Wolves game as well, which not a good weekend all round for anything like that. But yeah, and then I guess Jimenez opens the scoring from the corner. Probably needs to be a bit of better defending from Sunderland.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the Sunderland defender, I think it's Alderete who's supposed to have him. I couldn't quite tell if it was him or another defender, but Raul just loses his man, and it's a free header. Like, say what you want about Raul Jimenez, he's probably not the player that he once was. He's probably lost a couple of steps, but he's putting that away all day, and he's still good enough for this level. 100%.
That's what I think. I think Fulham or mid-table club is his level. Mate, is that mean? But I think it just is, isn't it? Like,
I think so.
Fulham, or West Ham, or Palace, I think he sits in that team, starts regularly, and bangs 10 goals a season.
I mean, I can't wait to sign him when he's 35 and he scores 1 goal in 38 appearances.
But yeah, and then you got the Bassey pen for the Sherpool. It, I want to say the game like felt like it picked up a bit after the opener, but it kind of
It
went.
did a bit.
It did a
It
bit.
did a bit. Like once the first goal went in, I think there was a little bit more goal mouth action, and yeah, this one, that penalty was just a big old shirt pull from Brobby, and then Raul sends Roofs the wrong way, just does that one of those waits for the keeper to kind of go commit, and then Raul just puts it the other side.
Yeah, and you can't really have any complaints with the pen, can you? I mean, it's probably happening a lot and not being given, but once it's given, there's no reprieve for that. It's definitely a pen.
Yeah, 100%. I think both that was definitely a penalty, and then Sunderland up the other end pushing to get back into the game, similar to Brentford. They kind of came more into it when they were 2-0 down, kind of thing. The Ballard just showing absolute brute force and determination, like big man from the back, just like moving. Like I will come through you if I can't get past you.
Right, that's it. Let's take, because there weren't many things to pick out from this weekend that made me go, oh, that's awesome. But that generally was awesome. What was he doing out there? And then how has he got past Sessegnon so easily?
He just bodied him, and I think that's why like he gets pulled down, because they're just like the defence just couldn't handle, like they couldn't get the ball off him, so they were just like, right, well, you're going down. Again, I don't think anything to complain with.
Like, that is exactly what I'm here for when it comes to Premier League football. I felt proper big Pete Barclays to it. I don't know why, but yeah, does well to win a penalty, and Lefay like absolutely rockets that penalty home. It's kind of complete opposite to Jimenez's, isn't it? Where he's waiting for the keeper to go down. It's just like, this is getting into the back of that net no matter what.
Yeah, 100%. He's just gone for power. Leno kind of gets a little fingertip to it, but he's never saving it.
Nah, not at all. And then, yeah, I guess Sun just get caught out on the break, don't they? For the third one, Iwobi does well to finish a really good break from Harry Wilson. I mean,
yeah, really, really good counter-attack from Harry Wilson, and then just kind of a perfect finish for Iwobi.
Yeah, it was a nice little dink, wasn't it? Perfect way to play a 3-on-3 there. But yeah, Sunderland rolling down the table a little bit now.
I mean, yes, clearly 4 losses out of their last 5 matches is pretty bad form, but they probably were also, like, they were safe in January. Like they were, I mean, they were probably safe in November, to be honest. But
I feel like when we said they are safe and that's kind of the season wrapped up, they heard us and were just like, yeah, okay, we're relaxed now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned it last week when we looked at the FA Cup 5th round draw. They're just a prime team for me that I'd be like, right, don't take your foot off the gas too much, that when the FA Cup games come around, you're not at the top of your game, but also at the same time, and possibly speaking out both sides of my mouth, you prioritise the FA Cup in Sunderland's situation. I don't think they're going to put together a run that they're going to get into one of the European spots at this point. I think there's a couple of teams in better form, and obviously you've got the top 6 who are pretty cemented up there. So you're really going to do we think Sunderland are going to fight back to 7th or 8th? Probably unlikely. So I would be like, and they've got Port Vale or Bristol City in the FA Cup. That's a great chance. You're 2 games away from Wembley. You should expect Sunderland to win against Port Vale or Bristol City. No disrespect to those teams, but you should expect them to win that. And then you're 1 game away from Wembley. This is a great opportunity for Sunderland, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know who they get in the next round, but
yeah, it's crazy how much a trip to Wembley makes the season so much better as well.
And it's been a great season for Sunderland, but if they cap that off with a trip to Wembley, that'd be unreal.
Yeah. Do you know what? Staying up in the style that they have this season and a trip to Wembley, it'd be over the moon. Basically, the only thing I was hoping for years since Palace became quite a secure team was just a day out at Wembley, and luckily I got the best one ever.
It's perfect under 14 stuff, and Fulham, they're kind of where they were, where we expected them to be. Maybe it's a Marco Silva thing, because what were we saying at the end of last season? Inconsistent Fulham, and they're kind of just the same this season, perfectly mid-table. I think we both had them around 10th.
I think I had them must have around 10th. I was going to say 12th, but that's definitely where I put Palace. Yeah, you think the fan? It's hard because if you're a Fulham fan, and if there's a Fulham fan out there, please write in and let us know. Are you looking at this as a good thing, being able to like be mid-table? Are you looking at this as we have the chance to push on here? Is Michael Silva really the right man to do it? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because
I mean, again, FA Cup, they've got Southampton in the next round. So again, another one of these mid-table teams who are still in the cup who are probably going to be prioritising that because it'll be tough for them to get that seventh place that sometimes gets Europe and that. So, you'd be hoping as a Fulham fan that you keep going in the Premier League, but really prioritise the FA Cup.
Yeah, I think that FA Cup quarter-final against us kind of showed how much it meant to both sets of fans last year, and anyone that got the trip to Wembley was really going to appreciate it. But yeah, I guess it's still a good win for Fulham, isn't it? Doing something that only one other team has been able to do this season and go up to the Stadium Light and get 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points, 3 goals. Great. It was a great day out for Fulham.
Yeah, nice. You want to move on to the Palace game now?
The last of the wins, but yeah, it was a pretty. I mean, I assume you were there. It was a pretty drudgy affair.
Yeah, I was there, and I was very, very tired from a long weekend, and got there early because my mate just had a kid to see his kid, and then went to the game with my mum, and we kind of just stood there on the way to tell us this is going to be the most toxic game ever after everything that happened midweek and how much hate. I don't even know if it's hate Glasner's getting. It's more just fucking weird banter. It's like, we want you gone, but we know this horrible relationship isn't going to end anytime soon, so we're going to try and make as much fun out of it as possible. And yeah, obviously there was none of the Homesdale fanatics to begin the game, not their drum as usual. Then the banner went up, and then all the chanting started, and everyone got behind the team. I love that it's South London's Red and Blue Army now rather than Glasner's Red and Blue Army. I don't think we're crying about it in the way like some fans have cried about the manager doing things like this. I think he knows he's kind of been a bit out of order, things he's said, trying to get sacked pretty much. And when the results aren't there, when you're not beating a bunch of Bosnia scaffolders midweek, it's hard to really give him any credit for any of it. And it felt like throughout this game there was no game plan from us. It was basically like, yeah, players just go out and just play, just pass the ball around and hope something happens. Which I don't think it's good enough against a Wolves team that's bottom of the league, to say the least, because Wolves should have won this game. Like, walking away from Selhurst, it didn't feel like we'd won the game. It felt like, Jesus, we just scraped past a 10-man Wolves side as bottom of the Premier League, having one of the worst seasons ever. It's just they're like, this isn't really good enough.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with Palace. It was more about individual moments than any sort of like defined game plan, which is so opposite to what we've seen under like Glasner. And then you're completely right. Wolves kind of scuffed the chance of winning this. Like, there's the penalty, there's the red card. They probably did enough to get away with it, to come out of here with a win, but Palace they just grind it out.
Mate, if that penalty goes in, Wolves win that game probably 2 or 3-0. That's how bad it is, how bad it was. Like, people are trying to say that the Henderson save like turned the game around and it galvanised Palace. It didn't. Like, it galvanised the crowd for like 20 minutes as you expected to, but our performance did not change in any way.
Is that the one that from Bellegarde that was deflected and he like tips it over the bar?
No, the penalty save.
Oh, the penalty save, sorry. There was a good save from Sir Henderson earlier, but I mean, the penalty save, it was just a bad penalty, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a bad penalty, but once again, shouldn't be receiving any racial abuse for missing the penalty. We've all done stuff like that. But yeah, that's not.
Yeah, he just scuffs it.
Yeah,
it's not really impacted Wolves' season. I'd be more angry at Krejci, and not saying abuse angry, just like Krejci's both of those yellow cards, especially the second yellow card, is just so stupid.
What was he? He had 5 yellow cards last season, I think, in Poland.
No, they said in one of his seasons, previous seasons, he got 5 red cards in a season.
5 red, sorry, yeah, that's mental, isn't it?
Like, how's that even possible? Surely you just get banned every other game, like.
Well, I was there, feeling sorry for him because the first one felt a bit soft, I guess, but the second one was you're kind of going. But then I heard that stat, and I was like, yeah, you can't really hide then if you got that stat behind you as well. Um,
No, there's a couple of things in this one from a Palace point of view. I think the result was bigger than the performance. One of those kind of games
yeah,
where it's just
100%.
like, oh, just get the 3 points. Now things look a lot brighter. Obviously, you had the Brighton win, and this one kind of both games ground out a win rather than looking like the best of Palace under Glasner. There's a couple of moments from Jeremy Pino, who I know we were both really excited about at the start of the season.
Put him in the bin.
Seems
Put
like
him in the fucking bin. Put him in the bin. I've had a.
yeah, I think that's a lot of fans' opinion about him now. Like
It's hard. I've given him so much time, and I keep saying he'll come good next year when he's like used to the Premier League a bit more. But he ain't great, man. And then the worst thing, I had a mini argument with my mum where she was like, "Yeah, get Pino off, get Johnson on," and I was there like, "What? So the man that at least tries in his shit can be changed by the person that does nothing in his shit?" And it's just they're like, it's either the invisible man or the.
It's all right. At least you didn't spend 70 mil on the pair.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. I don't want to write players off this early, but it's probably just because of the juxtaposition between how everything was going under, like having obviously Ebbs, Elise, Wilf, and now Pino. I can kind of accept he's bad because at least he's getting on the ball, he's doing stuff. Brendan Johnson right now, I can't accept being bad because he's never doing anything. He came on, and I don't even know if he touched the ball in the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's every
Oh,
game from him.
hey, but at least you have Evan Gesson. I mean, he's only on loan, but I know you have an option or an obligation or
It's the
something.
obligation.
But
Yeah, guess on. I do rate. Like, he's the only player I think we currently have in our squad who is willing to take on a player.
I mean, he
Like,
looks miles better at Palace than he ever did at Villa.
yeah,
Like he looks like I know it's only a short spell so far, but in a couple of games he's proven a difference maker for Palace.
yeah. Villa fans can tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was playing on the wing for them, where he's playing in a 10 role for us, which is what he's meant to be doing, floating in between the lines. He's got a bit of the ebbs about him from what I've seen, like in his play, but it's not like I think eventually and
So
Sarr and Strand Larson will be able to link up and create like patterns to play together. But I think that is just missing at the moment because it always seems like Strand Larson is really good at holding it up and being able to like give a little one-touch play in around the box, but no one's really linking into him with that. Like Kamada was completely off the ball with him with all of that throughout the game. But yeah, I do like Gasson a lot, like a lot, a lot.
yeah. Anything else for this game?
The stay humble chants towards Glasner were pretty funny. It was stick your humble up your ass. it was, yeah, that was really funny. And the only last thing is, I said, like you said, yeah, the result gives you a lot of positivity, but I'm sat here thinking that positivity's all going to disappear when we get beaten by Mostar midweek, and it's going to go back to being toxic and dreadful again. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we'll be doing an emergency podcast if you lose in the Conference League to a Bosnian team because I will be, and it will just be me laughing at you singing "Champions of Europe." We know
just
what we are.
be like that Mr. Burns where he's just laughing constantly, like in the shower and he's out and
Yeah.
about. Yeah,
Hey, we went through the Conference League unbeaten.
yeah, mate. That's not even. That's not even. Cool. Okay, should we move on to one of the draws from the weekend? Villa 1, Leeds 1. I feel like this
Yeah.
game had a bit, a bit about it, maybe.
A bit, maybe. I was impressed with Leeds, especially in the first half. Like,
Yeah,
I
to
think it
be
was
fair,
all Leeds.
my first note is this Leeds team has something. I mean, I've been kind of commenting on that at the last few weeks because what they've been able to do since that Christmas period. But there's something very different about them, and they kind of took the game to Villa to begin with, which I don't think a lot of people have done at Villa Park. They managed to score a screamer against Villa at Villa Park, which is basically the opposite of what's been happening all season. Villa have been scoring screamer after screamer, and yeah, that stack free kick is. Do you think it's a good free kick, or do you think Martinez is completely out of position?
I think it's a great free kick. It reminded me of Dimitri Payet, but it is some horrendous goalkeeping.
It is,
Like,
isn't it?
just it kind of reminds me of when uh, Masuaku just he thought he was trying to ping it across and it absolutely sliced it and he just caught a Chelsea goalkeeper Edouard Mendy out and it like sliced into the near post and it's just like the keeper's just so far expecting like something to go the other way that he's so far and can't get across. But to do it from a free kick is just like if when you see it, because it's not even like he gets it right in the top corner.
No, it's so far out, and it's not completely top bins. It's one of those where I think Villa have a keeper problem. If I'm being honest, like I think once again, every time I talk about Villa and Palace, it's the Palace hoodoo. But I think he has these big saves here and there. Yes, he gets applauded to being like the best keeper in the world for his antics, like with Argentina. But I wouldn't trust him as my keeper. I don't think. I don't think he's solid enough. I don't think he's consistent enough, and I think he has a clanger like this in him or a stupid head loss in him somewhere.
I mean, I think a lot of Villa fans would probably agree with you, to be honest, and I think they generally really like Emi Martinez, but I really wouldn't be surprised if we see him moved on this summer. I think there were rumours last summer that he was effectively out the door and they were looking for replacements.
He
Like,
was like United,
obviously,
wasn't he? They all said.
yeah, like obviously we know Villa have do the PSR thing quite a lot. They trade players. They're sort of moving players in and out of the squad. So it really wouldn't surprise me if we saw Emi Martinez get sold for quite a big amount, and then maybe bring in like slightly cheaper keeper or something, or maybe a slightly younger keeper, maybe one who's better with his feet, kind of thing. Like I think they'd probably definitely if you'd have suggested this maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, around that sort of World Cup time, I think people would have laughed at you saying that Villa would move on from Martinez. But I think when you look back at the last maybe 18 months, I think you can definitely make a sound argument for Villa deciding it's time to move on.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you on that. I mean, it might be just sour grapes because they are sat in third in the table, so he's been doing a lot of good for them as well. But I just think there is that bit in him in the moment and it's showing more often than not. But yeah, anyway, do you think Leeds probably should have gone on to win this? I mean, they got very, very close, didn't they?
They did, but I do think Villa came into the game more. Whilst I think for really until just before half time, that it was all Leeds, and then I think from about half time onwards, Villa came more into it, and they had some good chances. So I don't think Leeds fans will be upset that they didn't. I mean, it's a good point. Going to Villa Park and getting a point. Yes, you're winning. You almost get the three. There's the natural disappointment that comes with conceding so close to the death, but still, I think once the dust settles, I think by now Leeds fans will be like, actually, that's a good point. Like, given where we are, we've still got like a bit of a cushion on the chasing pack sort of thing. I saw a Leeds fan podcast saying today, like, I think the number of teams fighting for what is essentially one spot in that relegation place, and them obviously being at the top of those four, is kind of, it gives them a little bit more room to breathe. So I still think this is a really positive point for Leeds. And one player that I really want to highlight how he's grown is Ilya Gruev. I think he's really come on leaps and bounds this season. I think he's shown a lot of quality on the ball. I don't think at the start of the season I think he was probably like fourth choice for the midfield roles. And now he's been a really big part of this recent run of form, and he's kind of like a bit better. He's a bit more like a quarterback on the ball, whereas Ampadu can kind of do more of the defensive side of things. But Gruev is someone who's impressed me recently.
I'm just jealous of Leeds because it feels like they've got a game plan. It feels like they know what they're doing. It's, it's...
I mean, you're like 4 points ahead of them. You shouldn't be jealous. No, I'm jealous of Leeds. They're bloody 6 points ahead of us. I'd love to be 6 points ahead of her.
Yeah, just that. Just it feels like it's all a bit positive, all very positive for them at the moment, and I'm bitter. I'm very bitter.
Yeah, I mean, they felt like they defended really well as well, because like I said, I think Villa created chances, and for a lot of this game, they ran into a Leeds wall. There was someone putting in a tackle. There was someone putting in a block. Yes, Villa were getting into the box, but there was a Leeds player or two or three there to meet them more often than not, and they kind of like how the goal is that they conceded. Like, Abraham knees it over Dominic Calvert-Lewin on the line. He almost gets it. Yeah,
donks it in. It was really weird how it just loops over and it goes over Calvert-Lewin, doesn't it, on the post, which is for him not to be able to header it must have got like last.
Well, that's the
minute
thing.
on.
I know, like we've been saying for recent weeks, like what there's always been a small player on the line who's got no chance of headering it, but you got Calvert-Lewin on there. He almost gets to it. Like
It's bad, but yeah. Tammy Abraham may score the goal, but I think, like I said, I think he's been helping in Villa's downfall since he's come in. What was it? Only one win in the last four. Just saying. Just saying.
I mean, it's 2 wins in the last 5, but
Nah. Make the stats sound how you want them.
yeah. I I know you've got an agenda on Abraham. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I will wait and see. What I will say is his strike mate Ollie Watkins seems to just live offside, and he's ninth for offsides per 90 this season. And I feel like Ollie Watkins has always lived on the line, and I think that maybe now he's over 30.
Just
Maybe
lost that
he's
touch of pace.
losing that step, and he's getting caught offside. It feels like more often. It might not be, but it just feels like he's maybe the mental, maybe the physical lost a small, tiny, minuscule step, but would maybe explain why he's taken a step back this season.
I feel like we're really big men, like criticising the team in third for their keeper and their striker. And Thiago, who has 17 goals.
Forgetting a 1-1 draw, like
God damn. Okay, I think that's enough of that.
we're both just bitter. So
We are bitter. Should we move on to Chelsea-Burnley? And another shock result, I think, from this weekend. I did not see this one coming. I think we both pretty much said this would be a game too far for Burnley, and that Burnley's win against Palace was kind of more down to Palace than it was Burnley. And I think we got proven wrong, really, here, didn't we? But
yeah, I think so. I think my main point from this is I don't think anyone should be saying that this was a case of Chelsea going down to 10 men.
No.
I think Burnley did loads before that. I think they deserved a point out of this game, if not 3, to be quite honest. Like, I think they thought they were all over them at times. Like, I don't think they could do much about the first goal. I think it's just kind of Chelsea at their best.
Well,
And just
when a top 6 team has those players, they're going to create opportunities like that. Do you know what I mean? I think
and it's so fast as well that it's just like it's
Yeah.
just hard to keep up with at times.
Yeah, it's similar to the one which luckily they don't get punished for, the Palmer one, where Walker makes the mistake. And I was sat there like ready to be like, yeah, can't wait to shit on Kyle Walker again. He's going to get
I think he went off at half time, right?
Yeah, but I guess I can still shit on him. But yeah, I think Burnley did a lot of things that they did well against us. Hannibal looked good in the park. He gets the first yellow for Fofana before he ends up with eventually getting the red card. I think Burnley caused Chelsea a lot of problems. They didn't make the game easy. They didn't let Chelsea just boss the game completely, and they did well to make sure that resulted in them getting a goal, which in previous games just hasn't happened for them. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, they kept going at Chelsea, and as I say, I think you're right to pinpoint Hannibal. He's come into his own in recent weeks. I think he's really taken a lot of responsibility in that midfield, and Burnley deserved it. They kept going. Like, they almost had a goal, and then they do finally get the breakthrough with a James Ward-Prowse weapon of a cross. Like, I mean, if James Ward-Prowse could make one rule in football, it would be NFL kicker style. Can I just come on and do set pieces? Because he would be the best paid player in the world if they're like in that position, if he could just come on and just take corners and free kicks and then run off the pitch like an NFL kicker does.
They were unreal corners, and he had a good free kick just before that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if only you guys had him to put some balls into.
Yeah, but he can't he can't do 90 minutes really.
No, he can't.
Like,
I'll agree with that. My main takeaway from this game is I did not realise Ashley Barnes was still playing in the Premier League for Burnley. When did that happen? I've completely missed
Ashley
that.
Barnes will be playing in the Premier League for Burnley in 2037 when they come up and down. Ashley Barnes will always be there. He's actually animatronics, Ashley Barnes. He's not...
Just was shocked. Was absolutely shocked when I saw him on at the end. But yeah, I mean, Burnley had chances to win it towards the end. Like they put Edwards has a half chance that gets blocked, and then Larson puts one over from is it James Ward-Prowse crosser once again. And you're just thinking, oh, that would have been big for Burnley. I think going on to 21 points. I mean, it's still miles away from staying up, but it gives them a chance of catching you, doesn't it? Which you probably didn't want.
Oh yeah. God no, I definitely didn't want that. I mean, it's great for Burnley. Like I don't think, as I say, I don't think many people had them getting a point. But so the fact that they almost could have got three, it would. I mean, it would still be a sensational run if Burnley were to somehow get out of this, or to even make it interesting. Yes, they're not too far off. Like it is within reasonable range, but we're getting down to like 11 games left, sort of thing. It's going to be. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think. I mean, it's one of those seasons that's going to come down to the last game of the season.
It does feel like one team always goes on a run. I mean, when they're not all completely like binned off by the by Christmas like they were last year. But it does feel like one could go on a run. But I don't know if this Leeds run is that run that's happened already earlier. Do you know what I mean?
What are you talking about? It's West Ham, mate.
Of course. Too fair, I'll be saying that, and we'll be at Selhurst, and West Ham will be on a 5-game win streak and about to win their sixth, and yeah, sailing to safety.
No, I already regret saying I'll go to that game. It might just condemn us.
Love that. Oh my God, could it? I need to figure that out. Cool.
No,
okay,
it couldn't.
On?
Shut up.
Should we move on to City Newcastle? I mean, I don't really want to talk about this game.
I mean, we've got just defeats and then a 0-0 from here on, so we can go pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle can't replicate their form from in the Champions League playoffs where they put carrier bag aside.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe just doesn't do well against Man City. He's got one win against them in his managerial career, lost every game with Bournemouth against them, pretty much loses every game for Newcastle against City. Like, it's...
It was like 16 losses, wasn't it? They read off the stat on one of the highlights I was watching. I was like, oh, this probably won't be too bad. And then they said, it was like, oh my God, that's dreadful.
But, yeah, like, I think they were second best in this game. Like,
yeah, I think it's fair. I think Newcastle, wow, what a slip of the tongue there. Yeah, I think...
every Newcastle fan's just turned off.
Yeah, like they had even begun to listen. But yeah, I think City... probably could have had quite a few goals, let's be honest. Newcastle did well to keep it to 2-1. The Lewis Hall goes a scrappy pinball shot that gets him, but at that point, you could probably think, okay, 1-1, the pressure's all on City with the title race and whatnot. What can Newcastle do? And yeah, I think City kind of just do hang on at the end, but they could have also had loads of goals in it. They had so many chances.
Yeah, they were exposing Newcastle's defence time and time again, especially that first one. The defence is completely exposed, but they kept just losing Nico O'Reilly. It seemed no one was handling him. The Burn disallowed goal, I looked into it. At best, it should have been a retaken free kick, which is not really giving you that. Like, okay, they maybe get a goal. It's still a low percentage opportunity, really. So. Like, it's one of those, you feel like that goes against you. It's frustrating, but it probably doesn't make too much of a difference in the end of the day.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, do I ever want to discuss if that's anything close to maybe being a penalty? And it's just like...
Nah, no, it's not, because it happened before the whistle. It wouldn't be a penalty. I checked it up because I was interested about what the rule would be, but because it was before the whistle, the best it would have been was a retaken free kick. So it's kind of like, nah, it's not really much at the end of the day.
Nah, I mean, Barnes has a pot shot at the end, but put pressure on, but just a little bit too late. And yeah, it's hard watching Mark, actually, in a City shirt. It looked like he was doing quite well for them. So yeah, I think that's enough of that. Should we move on to Liverpool? Well, I guess there's kind of more talking points to take out of the game. Got a feel for Forest fans in this one. I feel like this is identical to what Liverpool did to them in 2024, where Núñez scores in the last minute. And it's just like, I don't think it hurt them so much in the relegation battle back then. I can't remember off the top of my head, but was that the one that helped Liverpool basically win the title? I can't. My brain doesn't.
You're asking me to remember to. Yeah. My brain's shocked, mate.
But yeah, I just remember it being like a last minute goal. and Liverpool fans go and celebrate in that corner where the away end is at the Sea Ground. Feel for Forest, but they just didn't take their chances. It's almost like they used up all their chances midweek against Fenerbahce, where they completely dispatched them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. I mean, Forest were a threat, especially down the left. Hudson-Odoi, Anderson combining really well, creating chances. Forest definitely had the better of the first half, but you need to put one of them away, and I maybe question. I think I've seen some comments maybe questioning Igor Jesus' fit under Pereira. Kind of feel like he wants someone a little bit more like Chris Wood up there, someone like a bit more of a target man to go off.
But Igor's been so good for them this season. He's always looked dangerous whenever I've seen him play.
He's looked dangerous, but he's looked dangerous, but his goal return in the Premier League is low. He's looked really good in Europe, but not in the Premier League as much. I mean, he's looked good, but he's not put the ball in the back of the net. He scored that excellent goal a few weeks ago, but other than that, he's not been banging them in, and I think that's gonna be a struggle maybe until the end of the season.
I mean, they got three other strikers now that can come in. I think it'd be mad, but who are you going to play out of the three of them? Is Wood? I don't know if Wood's actually in contention at the moment.
I think he's not back until like April. So
no, you got Iwan or what did you call him? The Pizza Crouch.
Pizza Crouch. Lorenzo Luca, who was signed perfectly ideal for Sean Dyche, who then immediately gets pushed out the door.
It's madness, ain't it? It's absolutely...
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about the weird disallowed goal in this one?
I really don't want to go like for Liverpool in a game, but it doesn't feel like football when that's not getting given. I mean, technically, it hits the arm, but I mean, is that not just going to hit his chest anyway and do exactly the same thing?
Feels like it just hit his back. Like, it doesn't feel like it just hit his arm. But again, I don't want to go batting for Liverpool. I just thought that was a weird one.
I thought it was a weird one as well. The way it gets striked to them as well, which just like probably technically yes, it's a yellow card, but if I needed a goal to get out of a relegation back, well, if it says the other way around and Forest don't get there, then they're like, that's complete cheating and top six bias. So I guess we got to kind of accept it when it happens to a top six team as well, maybe.
Yeah, and then just a gutting finish for Forest, because I think a point would have been really valuable here. We've got Liverpool next at Anfield, so I think if Forest were able to have got a point out of this game, it would have been a real big bonus.
Yeah,
obviously, it didn't matter too much because we didn't win, but
I think the 3-point gap always feels better. Like whenever I've been in relegation battles with Palace, when you know that a team has to win a game and you got the better goal difference, that always makes you feel better than being like, okay, if they get one win, they're going to be above us. And then once that happens, is the mentality going to drop in the players and is everything going to go a bit to shit? So
yeah, when it's that close, that goal difference feels like an extra point. So
yeah,
I mean, the goal difference isn't massive difference between us, but watch Liverpool put 3 past us this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Van Dijk being offside, I mean, show me the camera angle where he's onside, because that looked...
I mean, I hate to back the big six here, but I did see a picture of Einer's leg playing him on.
Did you? Okay, I didn't see that. But yeah, cool. Okay, I think that's everything from that. Everton United, last night's game, just yeah.
I mean, I think Everton did probably enough to come out of this with a 0-0, like with a point, but and had a couple of pot shots, but they're just the defending for the goal is just absolutely criminal. Yeah. Like, what is James Tarkowski doing 30 yards in the opposition half?
They teared him sprint.
It's not a corner or anything, so like he's not really got reason to be up there, and it's such a easy goal for Man United. Like, they just like quick like chaser out to Mbeumo, and then Sesko just puts 10 yards past Tarkowski. Like, Tarkowski, pace was never your one thing. You're a centre back for one. No. So like, what are you doing, man? Like, you and Michael Keane, who's probably the slowest centre back partnership in the Premier League. They do other stuff well. They clear crosses all day long, James Tarkowski and Michael Keane. I'm not putting them in an 80-yard race against a 23-year-old. Like,
Yeah, it was that, wasn't it? It was painful to watch it, in all honesty. And you don't need to be doing that when a point against United at home on a Monday night is probably quite handy to keep your season pretty much alive. What would it do? Puts you a bit closer to, puts you on level points with Bournemouth, 2-3 off Europe. Like, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah, cool. Anything else you
Yeah.
want to pick out from there?
No, I would just get my sad 0-0 West Ham 0-0. I think it was a good game, to be fair. West Ham had to win that, created enough chances to do so. Bournemouth side, Ryan and Scott are the real deal. Absolute ballers. Like they were head and shoulders excellent.
Yeah, I'd like to see Ryan play this year, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get down to the Vitality because it's always midweek or Boxing Day or something crazy. So yeah, it's never a handy date for me. Cool. Okay, should we get into the predictions for this week's games then?
Let's do it.
Okay, starting off with Villa. Friday night kickoff, 8 o'clock. Wolves Villa. I'm going to go for Wolves 1-0 here. I don't know why.
Ooh, I can kind of feel it, but I will back Villa 2-1.
I think a result's coming for Wolves somewhere. I know the Arsenal 2-2, which we didn't cover because it was rearranged and everything, could be seen as that result, but I think a really big one's going to come for them.
Hey, they've had some results in recent weeks.
Yeah, cool. Then Saturday early kickoff, 12:30, Bournemouth Sunderland. I think it's got a Bournemouth win on it. 2-0 Bournemouth.
Yeah, Sunderland taking their foot off the gas, away from home as well. Bournemouth in form. Ryan and Scott look really good. I'm going to go 2-0 Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, cool. Then Burnley Brentford. I don't know. I'm gonna go 1-1. No 1-1.
Yeah, I think Burnley get another draw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm gonna go Desmond.
Cool. Then Liverpool West Ham. How are you feeling for that?
It's just, our run is not easy. It is difficult. Like we've got a difficult run of games, and doesn't get harder than going to Anfield, even if they are a step off the pace this year. I can't back us. I hope I can jinx Liverpool, but I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I think this is weirdly where you got to kind of bank on your Premier League history to think of like all the times you have got out of the situation, or think of all the times you've got results against these big teams on this run. Because yeah, you're going to need some fucking mentality and bollocks to get
It's
through
great
this
escape
now.
time.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like that. I think your only hope really is Forest completely plummeting under Pereira as well, and whoever plummets the league stays up.
No, Tottenham. Tottenham are
Oh yeah,
down. Tottenham are going down.
yeah. I don't know how much I can say on that, but yeah. Cool. Yeah,
Did
I
you
think we
predict
go
that? Yeah, yeah.
1-0 Liverpool. I think you've got to give them a game, but I think Liverpool still win.
Perfect. We both jinxed us.
Cool. Newcastle Everton feels like a nothing game, really.
It's a weird one that I usually tend to back Newcastle at home. I think they will win this 2-1.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna go 2-2. Go for a Desmond. Then Leeds at Ellen Road at 5:30 kickoff against City.
I honestly feel like they could win that.
Yeah, I think Leeds can win it, but I don't want them to because I don't want Arsenal to win the league. So I'm going to go 4-0 City.
Oof. I am gonna go 3-2 Man City.
I think it's going to be a really good game. And then the Sunday games, 2 o'clock kickoffs. Brighton Forest. I'm going to 0-0.
I have to hope that Brighton have turned things around here because I need Forest and Spurs to be down there with us. I'm gonna jinx them. I'm gonna go Forest 1-0.
I think 0-0. I think Brighton are going to be checked out now for the end of the season. I think Forest are going to have something to play for, but not be able to get that goal. Cool. Fulham Spurs London derby. I think Fulham and
Come on, Fulham, put 2 results together for me.
actually they're not going to put 2 results together. I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
Cool. United Palace. Unfortunately, I'm not that one because I'm a stag do. I think United might mop the floor of us here. I think they might get a lot of revenge for what we've done to them over the past 3-4 years, and this could be a 4-1 drumming.
You mean Oliver Glasner auditioning for his new job?
Oh, he's never getting that job now, ever. I don't think he's getting a big job anywhere after how he's acted. Let's be honest.
No. I too think Man United will just be a bit too much. 2-0 Man U.
Easy, cool. That's it. I don't know when we'll pod next week because I don't know when I'll be human again after my stag do, and it looks like there's midweek games as well.
There is midweek games, so you're gonna have to drag your ass out.
I don't even get back till Tuesday.
Oh shit.
Oh, God knows.
All right, well, we might have to do a bumper episode on the Friday or something.
Fucking hell.
Be there for 2 hours.
Well, listeners, we'll just pick the games that matter at that point. Anything we deem not worthy ain't going in. But yeah, cool.
Yeah, fair.
Let's wrap up there. Feel free to rate, review the podcast, tell your friends, and follow us on socials on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Reddit at Over14FC Podcast, and email in over14podcast@gmail.com. But yeah, otherwise, mate, good luck at the weekend, and I'll catch you at some point next week where we'll be talking non-stop.
Cheers. Rest in peace to your liver.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.